Hello everyone, and thank you so much for tuning in. I am Fifi, and in today's video we are going to be looking at motivation versus inspiration, and hopefully by the end of this video you'd be able to see the difference between the two and see which one works the most in your life and if there's any changes that needs to be cultivated. So yeah, let's get right into it. Firstly, I would like for us to look at what motivation is. By definition, motivation is an act or a process of giving someone a reason to do something, right? Give an example around that would be, when you really don't feel like jogging in the morning, but then you know that you need to jog for your health and for whatever reasons that people jog, and you find that you really don't enjoy doing it, but then for the sake of it being done, you just wake up and you hit the road. And while you're busy jogging, you really feel like this is not what you want to do. Then suddenly out of the blue, I know some of you can relate, a dog comes barking and charging at you. The first instinct that's going to come to your head is to run, and you would run in such a way as if you're running away from your death, and as you're running, what would happen in most cases is the dog would turn away and go back. And when the dog does that, then you would also come to a halt and you would, try to get your breath back. But then what you realize in that instant is that you didn't want to do this whole thing, and something made you to run, of which it is the dog. So the dog gave you the reason to run. So the dog literally gave you the motivation for you to do that which you didn't want to do. So basically that's how motivation works. It is that external factor that propels you forward to do something, whether you really are keen or not. It would put in that force that enables you to go forward. And the nice thing about that is that at that moment it gives you that oomph, it gives you that energy, and it makes you want to do that thing. But then as soon as that factor is no longer there, then the energy that was charged up seems to die down. That's how motivation basically works. You also see it when you go to, let's say, these beautiful seminars where there's these beautiful inspirational speakers and motivational speakers there, and they are giving you all the tips. They are putting you in that space whereby you really feel like, I'm charged up, I know what I'm going to do as soon as I leave here, and your spirits are high, and you all over the place, and you yes, I got this, I know what to do. And immediately you leave there, it seems like the energy dies down, because that external factor, that stimuli, it's not with you anymore. So that's basically more or less how motivation works. And by that premise on its own, it seems to bring up this idea now that motivation is that which charges up the energy, and as long as there isn't more energy stockpiling on this motivation, it dies down, and you feel you no longer feel motivated, you no longer feel what the use of the whole thing was, and you just want to give up. And basically that's how motivation works. And a lot of people tend to ask themselves as to say, but then I felt this was coming, what went wrong? The part that went wrong is actually us not realizing that what gave you that oomph from the onset was something that was external of you. Which now brings us to the point of inspiration. And with inspiration, what you find is it is something that it feels innate, and every time you are inspired to do something, in most cases you find that it is ideas that are flowing from within you. And what you find with that is when you have such ideas, it makes it easier for you to take through or go through the journey of whatever it is that you want to do much better, because you don't need any external forces, any external acts, anyone pushing you to get to do that. You seem to be automatically innately motivated, and that's how inspiration works. And you find with inspiration that even when you hit stumbling blocks and challenges, because this is something that feels like a calling within you, it becomes something that you really want to just harness, regardless of the obstacles, regardless of the challenges that you are facing. And you find that with inspiration, in most cases, you literally don't need to force yourself or charge yourself in order to do those things, because those are things that come embedded within you. And because they come from the inside out, it makes it even more bearable for one to actually just go with them. Unlike with motivation, whereby it's something that is outside of you going within. And when that's something that is outside of you, it's cut off, then it makes it difficult for you to really propel forward and do whatever it is that needs to be done. So ideally now, with things that we do in life, with our goals, with our ideas, with our plans, with all these things that have ultimate results that we want to see, ultimate expectations that we have around them, we ought to see whether is it something that really is what I want to do innately from within, or is it something that I just looked at from the external and I got excited and I thought I would encompass it in my life. So there is that difference, whereby one, which is motivation, is from outside within, and inspiration, which is from inside without. And the thing about that is, immediately you see those two differences, you get to understand that both of them are required, both of them have a space in life. The things that come innately from you are the things that in a long run you are bound to stick with, more than the things that come from the external. So ideally, when you look at your goals, when you look at your plans, when you look at the results that you want to see in life, when you look at all the aspirations, the desires that you want to have, you ought to just maybe take a step back and ask yourself, as to say, is this an inspired ideology that I want to pursue, or is it a motivated one? And if it is a motivated one, what is it that is motivating it? Is it something that is within me, or is it something that is without? And from there you can be able to see, as to say, would I be able to have the energy to run with it? Hence, that's why you find that in most cases, when we do the things that mostly charged only by motivation, we end up not following through with them, because at some point you just realize that it doesn't seem, or it doesn't feel like it's something that you really wanted to do. It feels like something that you are pushed by the environment, by the circumstances, by the society, by how we are socialized, that is making you want to do those things, and you end up falling short on those things. However, if it is something that is more I've been using innate forever. It comes from within. It is something that you want to pursue with your all might. You find it becomes easier for you to really stick it out, even with whatever that comes your way. And what the other thing that I tend to see is when it comes to motivation, when you think about it, climbing a mountain, motivation seems like that baggage that you carry with. Baggage is a very strong word. It seems like that thing that you carry with that doesn't have resources to help you get to the top of the mountain, whereas inspiration would be the baggage or the things that you carry with that gives you the energy, that seems to have the resources that allows you to propel yourself to the top of the mountain. So going forward, it would be ideal for you to just check whenever you embark on things as to say, is this something that is inwardly inspired, or is it something that is externally motivated? And like I said earlier on, both motivation and inspiration have a place in our lives. Ideally, you would want to move towards the things that inspire you. And when you hit blockages along that way, because this is life, you're bound to hit blockages, then you can kickstart the whole process again with the motivation, instead of making your life revolve around motivation all the time. Because if your life revolves around motivation all the time and that external stimuli stops, then it would be very difficult for you to really recharge yourself and get on the horse. So ideally, you want to just look at the two and see which one works the best for you. And I would really love to know from you as to say, what is your take on this? Motivation versus inspiration. What is your go-to? Hit us down below. I would really love to know as to say, which one is your go-to? Is it motivation or is it inspiration? I personally lean towards inspiration more than I do motivation, because I find when I am doing things that I am inspired to do, I operate from a space of just being in the zone. And when I'm in the zone, I find that my energy just gets replenished all the time, and I am just excited to be in the space, excited to do the things that I do. And for those who lean towards motivation, I would also just love to know, what is it that makes you lean more towards motivation? But then other than that, stay safe, be light, and as always, I will see you on my next upload.